Guys, this is it. We're here.
This is it.
Savage appetites.
go.
Appetites. Let's go.
Let's go.
No, I don't know what to say now.
How
Okay.
long has this been cooking?
Oh, this has been cooking, brewing, recipes. I'd say a few months.
It has been, yeah.
I remember when you start your journey.
Yeah.
Oh, anyway, let's before we dive into
Okay,
that
all right,
stuff,
all right.
let's just talk about this podcast.
Okay.
What we intend to do.
Yeah.
Savage appetites. Alex, tell me what this podcast is about.
Okay, so for me, when you came to me with this idea,
Mm.
a lot of things were combining in my life.
Yeah, that's true.
And a little switch went off, and I thought, you know what? What's the next evolution of Just Food and the Dubai food scene, and what role can I kind of play in it? And I think the Dubai food scene is excellent. It's amazing. It's one of the best in the world, but it could be better.
True.
And what could I do to try and drive the discussion in the right way?
Yeah.
Now, the things that I think the Dubai food scene needs is, number one, a bit of authenticity.
Yeah.
I think people need to be themselves. I think a lot of businesses need to be themselves. We want to go in, we want to say where someone's bad, and we don't want to have to worry about getting kicked out of the country,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
see?
yeah. No, exactly. Authenticity.
Authenticity,
Yeah.
honesty.
A bit raw.
Bit raw. Yeah,
Bit raw.
just,
Less polished
that's
from
it.
the ideology of what Dubai seems to be.
Because it is, Dubai's a very well-polished place, and a lot of businesses...
From the outset.
From the outset, yeah. And a lot of businesses come, and they're very corporate and slick, and they have their investors, and their graphics done, and everything looks all smooth.
Mm.
But then when you come to eating the food, it might not be that great.
Yeah.
And then as a customer, you want to be able to share that, or as a blogger, you want to be able to share that story.
Yeah.
And at the moment, I don't feel you can naturally. I
Fair.
might be wrong. There might be people out there that...
No, fair. All right, well,
Absolutely.
why don't we'll dive into this a bit more
Okay.
a bit later. But just to introduce you then, Alex, obviously food influencer. What was the fastest growing food influencer in Dubai?
Self-proclaimed.
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 I didn't want to add
fastest
that. Thank God you did that. Just introduce yourself then to the people who don't know who you are.
Okay, so I'm Alex Augusti. I am aka Just Food DXB. So I started this page 3 years ago, sharing hidden eats around the city. So just sharing my favorite places, start posting it on Instagram and TikTok and other platforms, and now it's become my full-time job. So I go around, try and find good, honest food for people, and share it on the page. So you tell you where to go, what to eat, how much it's going to cost you. That's always been the mission since the get-go.
Decent.
And Taran.
Who am I?
So some people might know me, but I don't
No
know if
one's
people
gonna
know
know
you.
me.
You're incognito.
No, mate,
You're the
no,
mystery
mate.
man, the man,
That
in
is man behind the scenes.
man behind the scenes. So
So-
tell us a bit about you.
I'm Taran Upple. I'm a design director, and I've been in Dubai for about 11 years, so just over a decade now. I kind of ask myself, what right do I have to be here to talk about food? And I guess I don't,
Why
to
do
be
you need
fair.
one? Yeah.
But I'm a big foodie. I grew up around food. Food is my passion. I'm obsessed with food YouTube.
Yes.
And I just think once you kind of started to do Just Food those years ago, and I remember you doing it and you transitioned into doing it, and I was like, you know what, that's decent, and that's like, you know, that's kind of content I'm into. And for me, seeing your journey and then the conversations we had afterwards, and always when we meet and we talk about, I'm just like keen. I'm like, what about this? Talk about this, and then I think that's where naturally we were like, wow, it's 2023, 2024. If you don't have a podcast, who are you?
Who are you?
So that's when the idea was like, okay, how do we monetize now? I'm joking. how do we put this on the platform? Obviously, let's not be around the bush, but a good, honest chat, raw chat about food, the food culture. I'm actually excited to know a bit more on the ins and outs about it, behind the scenes, which maybe we're not so privy to.
So the thing that caught my attention about you, because we were in the same friendship group, but we didn't spend a lot of time together.
Yeah.
And I remember you were going on a holiday or something, and you were asking about the food, and I was like, oh, you should like watch this guy on YouTube, and you were like, mate,
Bro,
I've been following him for like 10 years.
being a subscriber.
I was like, Taz, are you a foodie? Because like foodies, everyone's a foodie. Everyone considers themselves a foodie. But like when you're a hardcore foodie,
Yeah.
like there's very few of us out there. You're one of the guys, same as me. Is when we go to a country, we spend weeks in advance. You're watching YouTube. You're going through
You're planning
TripAdvisor.
your trip around food.
Every single meal is
Yeah.
planned and coordinated, so the
Exactly.
trip is maximized.
That's the only way I travel. It's like what's my breakfast, what's my lunch, what's my dinner, where are my snacks in between.
Yeah.
I need to figure, and that's where I'll plan the trip.
And the thing was, I'd been doing that for years, and I thought I was a weirdo. And even like my miss, like Cam was saying, she's like, you're not normal. Like, it's just food. Just go out for some, for some meals, whatever. We'll just pick a place.
Yeah.
And the fact that you were doing that same thing, I was like, yes, Taz.
Exactly.
And
Well, I'm
then
glad we're here and talking about it. Now.
I am as well.
Well, then, okay, then let's get to know behind the hosts.
Okay.
I'm gonna go through. I've got 12 quick fire questions.
All right.
You're just gonna bosh out, give me answers. If you want to further expand them, fair play.
Okay.
But I'm gonna give you 12 quick fire questions, and we can do the reverse.
All right,
actually.
let's do it.
Ready? All right, I'll go first. So, McDonald's or KFC?
McDonald's.
Sweet or savoury?
Savory.
One food for the rest of your life.
Ceviche.
Oh, that's a bold
You know why?
shout, pal.
High in protein, healthy, acidic, umami,
Fair.
spicy. It's perfect.
I'll rate
You could
that.
eat all day, every day. You'd live for a
I don't
million
think about it from the health perspective, but fair enough. Favourite food influencer?
years.
Can't say so.
Oh God, that's Ravenous Xerxes, Reza.
Oh, okay.
He's the only one out there doing legitimate, honest reviews. He is not tied to anyone. He's got
Yeah.
himself in a lot of trouble. Reza, if you listen to this, you're my boy.
Shout out to him. Right, full English or roast lunch?
All full English.
This is a very British question. 'cause
Yeah,
we're both British,
yeah.
so fair enough.
Yeah, it's tough. It depends if it's your mother's roast. If it's
I
your-
think no, you can't dive in. No, you got to tell me full English or roast lunch or roast. dinner,
I
however you
think
say.
full English. It's comforting.
Black pudding guy.
Yes, definitely.
Good man. Ideal pizza topping.
Classic margarita.
Okay, fair
You can
enough.
tell a lot about a pizza and a pizzeria by classic margarita. No bells, no whistles.
Okay, I agree. Guinness or lager.
Guinness.
Straight out to Guinness. Ketchup or mayo.
Mayo.
Chinese or Japanese.
Ooh, Chinese.
Talking about the food here.
Yeah, Chinese because Japanese, beautiful artistic cooking, very small portions.
Fair. Hangover takeaway.
At the moment today, Sanwan noodles, baby. Shout out to Hattie and the boys.
All right, this one, fictional restaurant you'd like to go. So this, just so the audience understands, think of a restaurant in a movie, TV series, cartoon, any kind of fictional place,
Yes.
and that restaurant you thought, you know what, I'd love to go there. If that was real, I'd love to go there.
The Krabby Patty from the
I knew you were going to say SpongeBob.
Krusty Krab.
You know what, I've never really watched SpongeBob.
Have you not?
No, because I'm not a
Mate,
child.
No, it's the thing is, it's not even it's not a child's cartoon. It's
That's
an
true.
adult's cartoon. You watch it, it's gold. It's priceless.
Current favourite restaurant in Dubai?
Oh, good one. I always say it depends what I'm feeling, and I think that's the case. Everyone's, oh, what's your favourite restaurant in Dubai? What am I in the mood for? You know, it's never
Yeah.
one. I think Fusion Ceviche, just for what it has done.
One in JLT.
Yeah, Penelope, small home chef, lovely lady, running dinner supper clubs for years, built a community, and then popped up her first little restaurant making ceviche and Peruvian food,
Yeah.
and it's absolutely banging.
Fair
I
play.
haven't met a single person I've sent there, and they've come back and said like we didn't like the food.
Very good, elegant answers. Mine are going to be probably a bit different.
So, I know you sent me some questions in advance, and I chose
the quick
to
fire
not.
ones.
I chose to not do the same ones back to you. I thought I'm going
Oh,
to prepare a list.
shit.
So
Oh, you
I
got me
think
panicking now.
I think you can tell a lot about someone,
Oh, okay.
about the food that they eat.
Right.
Okay, so
Oh,
I'm just going to
fuck's
ask you,
sake.
not necessarily quick fire, but I want to ask you, let's get to know you a
Okay.
bit more.
Fair enough.
Okay, so I know when you get to see the branding, ladies and gentlemen, pizza, big food. Best
Yes.
pizza you've ever eaten.
Oh, my word. That is a wild shout. Okay. The best pizza I've eaten it was actually in Napoli. I don't actually know the restaurant. I know there's the famous one.
Yeah,
I don't know
Pizzeria da Michele.
Yeah, which they have some branches
Yes.
here, which is delicious though in Naples.
Hats off.
I actually don't know the name restaurant. We walked past
Yeah,
because when I was in Naples, I'm like, I'm eating pizza.
yeah.
I've just had pizza, but I'm eating pizza again. We walked past this. I don't know. It was after that restaurant actually. Even though that's the pizza there.
The famous one, yeah.
I remember we were just walking past. And I don't know what kind of pizzeria it was, but they were serving pizza by the slice.
Oh, really?
Kind of like on almost like a deli.
Yeah.
Esque. And I thought maybe that was a bit unusual for Italians. I thought that was more of like an American thing, like pizza by the slice, or like maybe northern Italy because they do that in Romania.
Yeah, yeah.
Roman pizzas, whatever it's called. And I got a margarita. Actually, my favorite pizza is margarita and anchovies and capers.
You're one of those, I can't get on the anchovy thing. I've tried.
Oh no, mate! It is the one. And they just had this. There was no cheese on it.
Yeah.
It's just anchovies, and I think it was just capers. Great olive oil by the slice, and I was like, I'm just gonna have it, even though I was stuffed.
Yeah.
And to this day, that is unbeaten in my mind.
It's so funny you say Napoli, and I know if you're anything like me, you travel to Napoli specifically for the pizza. So
I had no right being in Napoli. We were going somewhere else. And I was like, we have to stop here first.
We were flying out of Milan.
Exactly.
We done a load of places in Italy a couple of years back after Taco's wedding.
Yeah.
And I said to Gamma, I was like, we have to go to Naples. And she was like, why? Why? What was that? And I was like, I have to go, home of pizza. So we had, same as you, researched Pizzeria da Michele. Everyone goes there. We went to this other place. Can't remember the name of it. Yeah, good luck, users.
Yeah.
Sorry, listeners.
Great informative podcast. If you want
there's a pizzeria, 2.5 hour wait. Ticketing system was completely mental.
Yeah.
Okay, they were literally the guys pulling his finger out, sticking it in the air. It was your time.
Yeah.
And they were serving drinks to the people in the queue because the queues were that long.
Good.
So we go in there, eventually get a seat. Loads of people sat on this table. It's like Wagamama's, people sitting next to you. They come out with these pizzas. They only had like 3 on the menu. I had like a classic margarita. And we were expecting high things, but pizzas arrive. Cam and I sat opposite each other. Take a mouthful of that pizza, and we both like lifted our head and like looked at each other. Just didn't say a word. It was like show-stopping. Tell me
how much cheese was on it.
Not much.
So
Not
white tomato base.
It's the sauce. The sauce they had was so beautiful. It was like velvety with the olive oil. Wasn't too acidic. They balanced it out really well. The cheese wasn't overpowering, but it was fresh. The base was like light and airy, but it had a perfect crisp. So it was soft, but it kind of it didn't. You know when you get the first bend and then you get the flop.
The little dip.
Had that. Finished the whole pizza. Guy comes around. He's like, "Can I get you anything else?" I was like, "Another round." He's like, "Another round." He goes, "Another round of drinks." I was like, "Another round of pizzas." So there's literally a photo of me
from that pizza oven.
I was walking down the street eating my second pizza, and then I sat on the bed in my boxers, and I was just eating the pizza. And then Camilla's got a photo of me in my boxers.
Oh, I think I've seen this picture. That's the place.
That's the pizza.
Oh.
Listeners, I will try and find the name of it for you in the next episode, because honestly, if you're ever in Naples, you have to have that.
Nice.
Sorry, we got really sidetracked.
Yeah, we did.
Okay, next question. What's your favourite dish to order in a restaurant, and why?
Depends what restaurant I'm in.
But if you would say you're going out for dinner, you see a menu, what are your what would you say are your go-to dishes that you would be like, oh, they've got that?
Oh, that is a hard one actually. I think I like to start fresh. So like you said, like your ceviches, I like to start fresh, not too much bread. Taste it, but not too much, because I don't want to ruin the rest of the meal.
Yeah.
And then when it comes to, let's just say, I love steak. Steak restaurants, Argentinian restaurants, Brazilian restaurants.
Yes.
You know, that's kind of my bread and butter, as well as the pizza. So any good quality steak that's me. I like it. I like French style cooking, when they just lather it, bathe it in butter, garlic, rosemary, thyme. I like that. And I'm not so much a fan of like the Spanish style. I don't think it's just like cooked and charred, and it's served with like kind of rock salt. It's nice, it's delicious. But for me, I love that sense of just garlic and butter. Like you're eating it, you're like, I could die after this, but I'm happy. So I think that's kind of my cup of tea.
I must admit, at steak, I'm the opposite. It's salt and pepper for me.
Do you?
And I tell you what, have you had dry aged steaks yet?
I've had dry aged steaks before, yeah.
Because I had one a couple of weeks ago, and it's like you get that like nuttiness. It's like an earthiness. I don't know what it is. It's unbelievable. But anyway, great answer. I thought it was likely going to be steak because you're a bloke.
That's right.
Most memorable meal you've ever had?
Oh my god! You should have prepped me on these. I would have got some better answers. I'm just thinking off the bat now. Most memorable meal. I'll make it more sentimental.
Yeah,
I think
can be that.
Well, I mean, we were going to talk about something a bit later, but my grandma's keema. Keema is a dish. I think it's usually ground mutton. I think she made it with beef. This is back in the UK.
Okay.
Peas, loads of spices, just that, and it's like a dry dish. I quite like dry curry dishes, less sauce. I like quite a dry. I like getting like the roti and the naans. You rip it and you tear it up and you're eating.
Yes.
I think that has always been a memory when I was younger. And the funny fact is, that was the time I found out I am intolerant to coriander.
No way.
I despise coriander. The flavour, it just doesn't go. And it's actually a scientific thing. Like,
is it?
People can't stomach or fathom the taste of coriander. It's like a genetic defect in the mouth. And I know a couple of people who actually have it, where it's not like I don't like it. It's like it's repulsive in my mouth.
I've heard about that. People on TikTok were saying like people, if they've got this disorder, when they eat coriander, they get like
it's like soapy,
sewage,
disgusting.
Yeah.
It's disgusting.
You've got that?
Yeah. I have that.
No way.
Considering on my Indian heritage. But
that was great.
I know, which is weird. And I love Asian food. And I remember I think she she garnished it with coriander, and I was like, I was young, and I was like, this is one of the worst things I've ever had in my life, and I was like, I hate the smell of it. And then eventually we kind of realized it was actually the coriander I didn't like, and then after that I was like, just feed me in troughs of this food. So that was it.
So most memorable because you hated it.
Yeah, most memorable because I hated it and I loved it, and then I found out something about myself.
Good. That was
There
a very
you go.
good answer. I think I've learned a lot.
Off the dome.
Also, do you eat with your hands when you eat?
Yeah.
Like traditional Indian food.
Yeah. I think that's the most traditional way to eat
Yeah.
it. I mean, like, it's not. I mean, like, I'm not ordering a butter chicken that's dipping my hand in.
Yeah.
Like,
Nice easy one. Top food delivery at the moment in Dubai.
oh, I'm gonna have to say, I do love it actually. I'm not. I know that you think there's better. Dave's hot and spicy chicken. That's the one for me. You
And
can't
ladies and
beat it.
gentlemen, that's the end of Savage Appetites. No offense to Dave's if you're listening. I know.
No, it
Go on,
bangs.
but
It really
does it?
bangs. It really bangs. The
bang?
seasoning's on point. The way, I don't know what they do in that magical kitchen of theirs, but the way it's been breaded and seasoned, and it comes with that little honey, you drizzle that honey on it, it's just the one. It is literally the one. I'm yet to find. I like the pickle, and I like all the rest of them, but that is my. If I'm hungry and I've had a few bevs on a Friday night,
Yeah.
and it's Saturday night, and I'm wanting something naughty, that is getting straight on delivery.
That's so weird. You've had peppers as well.
Yeah, I had peppers. I had peppers when it first opened actually in Zabil. That's when I knew I was a foodie, and I dragged my girlfriend all the way to
Yes.
this new Dubai mall.
Yeah.
And I just pitched it like it was an extension of Dubai Mall, and we'll just go check it out. It was just purely to go to Peppers,
Yes.
and it was delicious. But that's the only time I've been since.
We literally ordered peppers every Friday.
That's
for,
because
I
you
think,
lived in
like-
downtown back
Yeah.
then. Yeah.
We literally order every Friday for like 3 years. It was like Peppers Fridays.
Yeah.
It's just
I've not been. So I've not been since. Sorry.
no. I think if it was up this way, if you were living downtown or they had a branch up here, I reckon you'd probably try it a bit more.
I'd
It's
go
really
again.
good.
I mean,
on
I am in
delivery
Dubai Hills, so
downtown.
not too far.
Also, got some questions. My dad, who's a chef, is on holiday. Has been staying with us for the last week. It's not stressful at all.
Yeah,
I'm
of course
not
not.
stressed.
Yeah, are you
You're
cooking?
stressed. I'm not stressed. He helped me with the questions today.
Oh,
so
my
he's
word. You've got- this
he's got
is-
quite technical. So he's how much do you know about food? All right. So,
Dog.
These ones, some of them are tricky. Like I don't think you're gonna get them. So number one,
I'm not a chef.
what are the ingredients for a bechamel sauce?
Cream, flour, butter,
Milk,
milk,
butter, flour. Yeah, give
yeah.
you that. What steaks make up? What steaks make up a T-bone steak?
A fillet
Yeah.
and sirloin.
Yes. Bing. Ting emoji. Ting.
We
sound
didn't
effect?
rehearse this, by the way. That is off.
That is good. I'm impressed.
Thank you.
What does it mean to cut something julienne?
Julienne. It's like
Yeah.
a little thin.
Yes, Taran.
Yes, come on.
This one.
Put me in the chef.
I don't
Put
think
me
you're
in the
gonna.
kitchen.
I don't think you're gonna get this one. What is the traditional meat in a carbonara? What is the traditional meat used in a carbonara?
Okay, well, the go-to answer is pancetta,
No.
but I'm sure it's not pancetta.
No.
Then. Is it? So, okay,
I don't think you're gonna get it.
Okay, well, I'm not.
Guanciale.
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 Okay.
Cured pork cheek.
Oh, if I just had that, I would have got what? I'd get 4 out of 10. 4
You
out
got
of
one
10?
more.
4
This
out
one I don't know whether you're gonna get. What is a bouquet garni?
A bouquet garni.
Yeah.
A bouquet. Can I have a clue?
Yeah, you would put it into stews and sauces
Bouquet garni.
to enhance the flavors.
Oh, so it's like a bouquet of
Yeah.
herbs. You wrap around, you put it in there. Yeah.
Let's go. Mate, I'm
Nice.
impressed with that.
Thank you.
Not that I was gonna doubt you at any moment, but I was.
But I'm
he
not a
was-
chef, by all means. I just watch. I can tell you, I watch a shitload of YouTube food content.
Who would you say is like your favorite YouTube content creator?
My favorite,
Yeah.
I'd say, at the moment, I'm addicted to Sorted Food on
Okay.
YouTube channel. They're a group of guys based in the UK. They have this kind of really good dynamic where there's chefs and what they call normals, people who are not really chefs, and part of their little crew. I
Yeah.
mean, they've been doing it for a little while, so they're probably better than the average cook.
Yeah.
And they just do loads of like interesting challenges. They cover a lot of different foods around the world. They talk about the ingredients, and I think all around it's like good vibes,
Yeah.
good quality food content. I can just sit there and watch it. I watched the episode earlier today as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they do a series right now. There's loads of little mini series throughout. they do one which is called Chef versus Normal. Oh, see,
My
turn
God,
your
that is. You know what time of that is? That's the time to tell me to post my content for the day. So please excuse me. That's a work alarm, but
Okay,
I'll make
fine.
sure
No,
that
so,
it's not
yeah,
on
I was
next
gonna say,
time.
you're
So
ruining-
you were saying
you're ruining
you're
it.
in the flow. Then.
You're ruining it. Yeah, they're doing a chef versus normal, and the chef gets given a name of a dish to cook, and the normal, what they call, it's in the same kitchen, gets given the name of the dish, but also the instructions how to cook the dish, but not in the correct order.
Okay.
So they have to use their knowledge and kind of piece the recipe in the right order, where the chef has nothing, and it's just like, you have to cook this. I think today was like some ravioli, spinach, ricotta dish with a sage and butter sauce.
Boom.
And that you just get given that, and then the chef, and then basically they make it a bit more comedy. It's quite funny because you get to see both sides of like how a chef would do it, and how if you were just given like, here's the ingredients, here's the kind of recipe, but not in the right order, and then just run with it. So it's quite fun.
You're quite a mean chef in the kitchen.
Wow. I mean,
we had a dinner party, and I was thoroughly impressed. I've had a few dinner parties.
Thank you.
So
I mean, well, I thought you were going to review it and stuff, so I had to make sure that it was on point.
Yeah.
I think for me, I can follow a recipe, and I understand why things are supposed to be added at the right time, or that, and the kind of nuance of a recipe.
Yeah.
And I think I can follow that quite well. But I think I'd probably struggle if you went to Spinneys and got a load of ingredients and put it on the table, went, all right, Taz, think about what you're going to cook it. I think it will take me a lot longer to kind of like put that together.
Yeah.
But from a recipe point of view, I think I could. And then you obviously do only little tweaks to it, and you kind of like, you understand flavors, and you start to like play with it. I think that's my bread and butter.
Yeah. I think I consider the same. I always, my issue I have, especially when it comes to reviewing people's food, is like, I'm not a chef. Like, my dad's a chef. I worked in kitchens for like 4 or 5 years.
That's quite interesting. Growing up, then, you must have the best home cooked meals.
He's so lazy.
Imagine
that's
all
the
years.
Thing. If you ask any chef, if you ask any chef, like, what do you eat when you get home? They're like, packet of crisps and a ham sandwich, because like all day they're just cooking. They don't want to. They don't want to do it when they get home. I remember we were watching MasterChef when we were younger, and the guy was making souffle, and he like didn't rise and stuff. My dad said, "Oh, it's because he didn't do this. He did this." I was like, "Dad, you can't do this." Like,
did you know he was a chef?
He goes, "You want to bet?" He goes in the kitchen. Literally gets the ingredients out. We just had it. Bash, 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 bish, bash, bash. Puts it in. Perfectly risen souffle.
Yeah.
And I had it, and I was like, "Oh my God!" I was like, "Yeah."
Do you think you can make a souffle now?
I probably couldn't. I'm one of those people. If you give me the recipe, I'd probably figure out. I'm terrible with patisserie and desserts because it's so you have to be so precise.
Yeah.
And it's like, add this when it's thick and foamy. And it's like, well, what's your interpretation of thick and foamy? Don't know why. Why did I go thick and foamy?
Fair enough.
But yeah,
I know where your mind's going with this.
Yeah, but so that was my. I don't know how we got onto that, but that's my experience.
Good. All right then. Well, considering what you do,
I
thought it'd be nice to talk about maybe what restaurants have you been to this week then? Like a general catch up.
Okay, number one last night. Huge shout out. How have I not been there before? Bar de Port.
Yeah.
My
what
God,
a sick place.
What a place.
Yeah, it's sick.
We were at an evening brunch last week, and we were like, "Where's busy on a Wednesday?" And we just like, we don't even know.
I saw your social. I didn't realize how. I didn't think it was going to be that busy.
Mate, Bar de Port was rammed.
Was it?
Rammed. Like, there was nowhere to even stand. Like, we were a big group given, but it was packed, like full of people. It's ladies' night. Definitely a ladies' night, if you know what I mean. So hats off to them. And apparently it's been going for quite a while now, and still manages to retain that kind of traffic.
The last time I went to Bar de Port was on New Year's Day.
Oh wow!
So it was like kind of like in the morning, your head's hurting, let's go somewhere nice, some nice food, and we were like one of the first people there, and a few of us went there, and it was lovely. I thought this is a beautiful setting, but I've not been in the evening where it's been popping up. I mean, we got there New Year's Day, so considering they had the New Year's Eve party the night before, there were a lot of sore heads anyway.
Yeah.
And I think the staff were like, "What are you guys here doing at this time of day? We're not even open yet." So there was a lot of like moving things around, but once the kind of late afternoon crowd started to come in, and then there was like music playing, and there's like the drinks were flowing, and we had like nice little nibbles, and I was like, this place is actually quality.
It is like, and the music kind of progressively gets a little bit more vibey.
Does it turn like a club?
Not really a club. It's just like a bar. So there's just obviously people are going for dinners and stuff like that. But they done like a drinks package on ladies' night. I think it was like 225 or 275 dirhams. The women drink free, and they also get like a set menu with the food. Food actually not bad at all.
Really?
Like actually quite good. considering it's part of the package. And then I think guys have just like a drinks thing. To be honest, my dad organised it. I don't know what it was, but
Your dad organised it?
My dad organised it. Well, one of my relatives organised it, yeah.
Right,
so it was for the group of us. But yeah, it was really, really vibey, just kind of escalated, gets busier and busier and busier. The music was going off. Like, it's just a vibe. And I think, like, in Dubai, places are so transient. Like, when we first came here, like, you had Yacht Club, or you had Asia for ladies' nights.
It's very transient place.
You get transient, that was the word I was looking for. And when you go back to these places, like, 6 months later, like, they're dead. Or they're closed down. So, and we can talk about that in a later episode, why that is, maybe.
I have an opinion on that, but yeah.
But, yeah, but Bar de Port is definitely a good establishment, guys. If you're looking for a place on a Wednesday night in particular, because that's when I went, it was packed. Book a table, it was packed.
Fair enough. Decent.
Well, yourself, tell me a good place you've been.
Well, what did I do this week? This weekend, I actually went to Pier Chic, which I haven't been in a very, very long time. I did see
your story.
Yeah, it's quite bougie, that place.
It was quite bougie.
So, I mean, people who don't know what Pier Chic is, it's just a very beautiful... I think they actually turned into an Italian restaurant now. I think it used to be seafood. I think it's a bit of an Italian restaurant now, but it's set at Jumeirah Al Casa on the pier, which goes into the ocean. And I mean, it's beautiful. You turn up. I mean, have you been to Al Casa before?
I've been to Al Casa.
You go in, you see the golden horses. So it's all like a very lovely experience. You go in, the hotel's amazing. You go down, they ask you where you're going. There's a little golf cart going to Pier Chic. It's, oh, come with me, sir. And it's very nice. And the vibe's great. The weather's been great as well. So get there. You get presented at the end of the pier, or the start of the pier, shall I say? And obviously, just down, straight down, is like the Pier Chic at the end. And I think they've built something off the pier now called Onda, or they're creating this new experience by Pier Chic called Onda, which is this kind of afternoon aperitivo kind of vibe where they have this kind of like little bar which kind of like perks off the pier, which is beautiful. And I can imagine sunset drinks, that is the one. So I think they do like drinks and set menu, I think. Okay. But anyway, we were in Pier Chic. Got there, I think we got there quite early. It was like 1 o'clock. I think they're just opening, so it was a bit haphazard at start. Anyway, the staff are really nice, they're really friendly. Sit down, and we did like a set menu. Starters, mains, and dessert. And you can do the drinks package as well.
Yeah.
And I think the food was,
Yeah?
Just, yeah. Do you know what I mean? That's my honest opinion. It was like, yeah.
It's all right.
It's nice. I mean, that place is incredibly expensive.
Yes,
and I think that's where the mindset is like, this is going to be the best fucking food I've ever had in my life.
That's the thing.
And I got there, and I think maybe that was the wrong approach to go to. But I got there, I was like, and afterwards, me and my girlfriend were just like, yeah, it was nice. Beautiful setting, don't get me wrong. And
you can't eat the setting though, can you?
No. Tell you what though, the fried stuffed olives were banging. Oh my God. Banging. And it changed me a little bit.
How?
I'm not a fan of tiramisu. Never. Are you a fan of tiramisu?
You get out of here.
I love coffee. I'm drinking a coffee now. It's probably bad for the editing. But I've never been a fan of tiramisu until now.
Okay. Thank you, Pier Chic, for bringing him into the light.
It was delicious.
Was it?
I was like, because it came in at tiramisu, and I was like, I'm not really excited about dessert because it's tiramisu. I'm not really bothered. Yeah. They brought out this slither of fudge chocolate cake, and that was just delectable. Like one bite, and you're like swimming in chocolate. Ooh, yeah. Tiramisu, didn't really want to touch it, but I was like, I'll have a little bite, and I was like, this is actually delicious. I think I don't know what they did. I don't know whether it's the cream or the light hints of coffee notes into it, but it was banging. Now, I'm changed.
I wonder if they were using coffee liqueur because it's licensed. Because a lot of places in Dubai you can't use. I don't know if coffee liqueur is traditional. Question from my dad. But I think apparently tiramisu is made with alcohol.
Yeah.
And a lot of places over in Dubai don't use it, so you don't get that flavour. Maybe Pier Chic are doing it.
And to be fair, maybe I've had one a long time ago. Thought it was shit.
Yeah.
And I thought, I'm not having that again. And now, because I was forced to have it, not forced, but it was presented to me, and it was a kind of a substantial appointment. It's made for 2 people. I'm a changed man.
Good.
So I now like tiramisu. So Pier Chic, thank you for that.
Thank you to Pier Chic for bringing Taran into the light. I'm looking at my diary because my memory is terrible.
Yeah.
Especially after last night. I tell you where I did go, which was very, very good. Shout out to Konjiki Hitsumatsumoto Bashiwashi in Mall of the Emirates. That ramen.
You actually nailed that pronunciation there, mate.
My Japanese is coming on strong. What can I say?
The classes are working.
That was it was an experience. So set the scene. When they first opened, soft launch, what was it, 3, 4, 5 months ago?
Yeah,
Mall of the Emirates.
went a couple of months ago, yeah.
Went there, wasn't blown away.
Mm.
I thought it was a good bowl of ramen.
Yeah.
Obviously, their dashi, their sauce is great. They were adding ingredients that I would say are not traditional Japanese.
Yeah.
A lot of truffle, which if you're ordering
truffle, we can do an episode on truffle.
100%. If you're ordering a ramen if you're ordering ramen and you want it to taste of truffle, put the truffle in it.
Yeah.
But we were ordering ramens that didn't have truffle. We were still getting like big truffle flavor. And we were asking the chef, and he was like, "Oh no, there's no truffle in that." And I was with some ramen purists, like they've been to Japan and taste like all the ramen in the world, and they were like, "There is 100% truffle in this."
Really?
They also had like really kind of obscure ingredients in there that apparently weren't traditional.
Yeah.
I'm not a ramen purist.
Yeah.
I just
was it trying to be a? I know it's by that Michelin star.
Yes.
So maybe it's a different take.
So come back this time, Michelin star chef, actually here this time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, proper Japanese man, like.
Of course, he's from Japan.
Yeah, like didn't speak a word of English. Yeah. Love that. Like if you go to a ramen place and the head chef speaks English, like get out of there. So yeah, he gave us a full experience, and you see like the art and craft. Like he must have made about 1 trillion bowls of ramen in his life. So he gets the noodles.
I think that's the right passage.
He gets the noodles into thing, and he's like whisking them like vigorously in the water so they don't stick together.
Yeah.
Pulls them out, does the old fold, and then I found out you're not supposed to mix a ramen. It's like literally like every time someone stirs a ramen, a Japanese chef dies in the mud.
I think that's the rules.
That is actually what. He's like, we need you to do a video where you just tell people like, please don't mix.
Oh, he was like in his broken Japanese.
Not him, like one of his interpreters was like, do not mix the ramen. What you're supposed to do is you drink the dashi, you drink the stock, like the sauce on itself.
Who are these weird people staring? I don't think that's a weird thing to do.
There are people out there, because you receive a bowl of ramen, you've got like all sauces and ingredients kind of around, and you kind of like like a pasta. Sometimes people who mix their pasta, their bolognese. I'm not a bolognese mixer. I have bolognese. I like my dry pasta. And
you are terrible.
No.
You are terrible. That is actually.
I'm not.
You saying that, an Italian man has died. that is pasta has to be mixed with a sauce. Anyway,
Antonio, why?
Alex, you fucking killing me.
How did he die?
That was racist. We'll take that.
That was racist.
Yeah. So, really apologize.
Stereotypical, maybe. Stereotypical.
Very much.
I am a quarter Italian, so I'm allowed to do that.
I'm definitely not.
Okay.
Sorry about that,
but yeah, so he told us not to mix a ramen. I tasted it individually, as he put it. Again, they're putting truffle in there. They're putting date sauce in there for the local audience.
Interesting,
like
molasses.
Yeah, similar to that. And you try each of those things individually, and then you eat the noodles, so you get a bit of everything. So I came back this time, and I think once I had that context, and they're saying, yeah, we put truffle in, it's not traditional, but we're doing it for this audience. I go, fair play. So I had it this time. I thought, very well done. Mall of the Emirates. I think I'd be confident. I think that's probably the best food you're going to find in Mall of the Emirates. Mall.
Yeah, fair. Okay. What's the? They have the 3 other restaurants across the way, because that whole area got developed, isn't it? There's, I don't know what, Black Tap, Din Tai Fung.
Din Tai Fung, yeah.
Do you like Din Tai Fung?
I do. Yeah, the
Szechuan
really wontons are really, really good. Another place I went to 2 nights ago and ordered it this morning. Salmon noodles.
Salmon. I've still not been Salmon. I'm waiting for I was kind of waiting for the invite.
What were you waiting for?
Just for you to take me, and then I can kind of get it for free.
I love the honesty. That's what we're all about here.
No, I do generally want to go. I went to the ceviche place you mentioned, JLT. Then my next place was Salmon, so I will go to Salmon.
So Salmon, for any listeners that haven't been yet, so if you
we've said it about 50 times already.
If you take like traditional, authentic Chinese food, mostly in international city, okay, you got to travel miles away.
I've heard that.
It's proper rustic. You don't know what you're getting served. That's authentic. Then you go the other way, and you've got places in like Marina or DIFC, completely inauthentic, more white boy Asian places. Salmon sits like perfectly in the middle. Okay. So you get like a bit of authenticity. They're hand making the noodles. The flavors are somewhat authentic, like their chili oils. They cook with a lot of chili oil and stuff. But it's also like a little bit more white boy. It's a little bit more accessible to people.
Isn't the chef Indian?
He is actually
Sri Lankan.
I think what is he? Lebanese Cambodian.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
And then
but
so
he's-
he went to China to learn how to make.
Yeah,
this.
he was working in China. He lived in China for like 5 years.
Wow.
So he was doing, I
Good
forget
on
what
him.
he was doing, but he would like learn the craft and like particularly this style of Chinese food. And that's why he brought it over here. And he's doing really well. I think he's just popped up in Right Market, another
Oh,
concept.
nice.
He's doing like, I'm not sure.
So this whole sandwich is his concept.
That's his concept, yeah. So he done really well. And then he's got this concept now where they're doing these fusion noodles. So they're doing like, I don't know how I feel about it. I've got to go and try it. Butter chicken noodles. Like bolognese noodles, I think was one
That's
of
just
them.
bolognese, isn't
Yeah, pretty much. But like he's doing that kind of fusion, might work, I suppose.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Look, power to him. He's doing well. He's probably just been a bit creative with his recipes.
You go there, the wonton noodle soup, the wontons. Just buy 1 million wontons.
Yeah, fair.
Just go 1 million wontons, please, sir, and you sit and you eat them. You will absolutely love them. He also cooks with a lot of pak choi, like pak choi, vegetable, right? Me eating a vegetable. It's the best vegetable in the world. It's like it's pak choi mixed with sesame and chicken stock.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Fair enough. Well, I think I guess because you are the food man, food Rogan, as you like to call yourself.
One of them.
One
Food
of
Rogan.
One of them.
I gotta get that.
You must get asked all the time, where should I go? What shall I eat?
Yeah.
But beyond the food suggestions, I'm sure there are questions that people ask you regarding the industry,
Yes.
social media part of it.
Yep.
I've got a few questions for you.
Okay, I'm ready.
Okay. So, just so because I'm new to the world of it,
Yes.
and I've asked you a few questions about this before, but maybe for our listeners, it's quite
Yep.
interesting to hear. So, the principle of it is, I guess, how does it work? So, do places just message you, invite you to go? Like, how does that work in terms of those new spots we see on your Instagram?
When we first started, we were obviously just going to places that we love, like just top spots, going there, posting. You'd be surprised. You actually start getting invitations quite quickly. Like,
Really?
I didn't have that many followers, maybe in the hundreds, maybe a couple thousand. You're already getting like invites from restaurants. It's called like micro influencers. They've obviously got really high engagement. They haven't got a big audience. But
it's just the restaurant going to you like, hey, come along.
Yeah, it's a lot of new places. So like, we're just opening. We'd love to invite you down. Meal for 2, meal for 4. If you come, you do some stories or maybe do like a reel. So that's like how it normally works.
Yeah.
Quite quickly, I'd say probably 6 months to like a year in, like we were getting like 20, 30 invites a week from places.
Really?
Yeah.
That just proves how many restaurants, like new restaurants, are just kind of hungry for
content.
There we go.
I love that.
Thank you.
No pun intended. No, that is the case. Like, especially if you're a new restaurant, okay, what are you going to do? You're going to put in what's on timeout, Lovin Dubai, etc.
All the normal mainstream PR avenues.
Exactly. Outside of that, what can you do? You've got to invest a huge ton of money into your own social media team to actually build a page, or you could then start inviting influencers, micro influencers around. So yeah, we started getting quite a few invites. Now it's like in the hundreds a week, and a lot of how do I put this? A lot of PR agents, because it's their client, they think it's the best thing in the world.
Of course.
And they want to invite you down. They get quite like emotionally invested into it. And when you say like, I'm sorry, like we're not able to cover this, we're just too busy. They're like, well, why wouldn't you come and cover our restaurant?
Right, yeah.
And it's like
a bit passive aggressive.
Yeah, let's face it, we're going to like, I think 2 weeks ago I'd done 10 restaurants in a week. Like 10 restaurants.
Well, that was going to be my next question.
Yeah.
How many places do you eat in a week? On average week?
Yeah, it varies. I mean, we normally aim for like 1 a day, maybe 2 a day. But some days it's like 3 restaurants in a day.
3? But how can you make sure that you're given a valid... Because I'm sure like the first place is hitting well because you're hungry. And then by the last time, are you still like, obviously hungry?
Yeah.
To be like, I'm like, and give it an honest opinion.
The key to that is...
Because I'm going to push you because I'm your mate, so I can ask you this.
You've got to kind of pace yourself. Like, you can't just... When I first started, I was eating everything that the chef gave me because like I'm one of those people, like I feel like I'm insulting the chef and I'm not eating all their food.
Yeah, of course.
Like, they've taken the time and effort and the money to make this dish for me, and I'm going to taste it and leave the rest of it. I hate food wastage. I hate it with a passion. So I was eating everything. I gained a ton of weight. Like, I was absolutely ballooning up, and it wasn't healthy. Like, you just can't maintain that. So I've tried now. I just take a taste of each dish. Obviously, if something's really good, then I'm going to eat all of it. I'm going to try and taste everything, and then try and keep that appetite for the rest of the day. It's hard, I'll be honest with you. Like, book my 1 p.m. slot, probably get a better review, but it's
there you go.
towards like
Half
6, 7 o'clock. Also, places like inviting during the evening. Like, I know a lot of people go out in the evening. I'm 30 years old.
Yeah.
I want to sit on the sofa at night on a Wednesday.
Sit with your dog.
You know? Yeah, dog, sofa, and a home cooked meal. Like, that's what I want to do. So, like,
Yeah.
PR agents, if you're inviting us to your restaurant, like, number one, sell it to me. Sell it to me.
Sell it to the food god, Alex.
If you can't even get me excited to come and eat your food for free, like, how are you going to get customers to come in and pay money?
Yeah, true.
And it's like, we'll go into this a bit more detail in another episode, like people trying to find a USP for their restaurant. I remember burger restaurants. One guy actually said, I asked him, what's unique about this burger?
Yeah.
He said, we cut ours in half. That was the USP.
Nice.
We cut our burgers in half.
It's pretty unique, to be fair. Credit to him.
He had a whole like methodology behind it.
Maybe he thought one day this guy's going to talk about it in the podcast.
Exactly.
And he's banged it. And he's done it.
It works.
Yeah, he's done it.
Honey, put on the red panties. We made it.
But then, okay, with the amount of food then you just said you eat, how do you keep that healthy lifestyle then? Like, how do you manage your calorie intake from, like, I don't know, 5,000 to nothing to go to the gym? Like, I'm sure you get asked that all the time, is how do you stay fit throughout this?
You know what was funny? People ask me this all the time. Yeah. It's like probably the number one question I get. And I used to give one answer and now I give another. Okay, so the first answer I used to give, I was like, it takes a lot of hard work and dedication. As soon as I wake up, hour and a half to 2 hours of exercise fasted every morning.
Yeah.
I used to do intermittent fasting, was doing it for like 3 years.
Yeah.
Just to get myself in that deficit for the day.
Yeah.
And then I knew if I burnt 1,000 calories in a workout, I'd have 1,000 calories plus what my body uses anyway, 3,500 calories for the day. I can eat that without gaining weight. So it's all like a scientific formula. But then what you notice is you just see this like glaze coming on people's eyes, a glaze.
Right.
And that's the glaze of, I was hoping you'd give me a quick, easy fix for this. I'm not going to have to do any work.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I'm going to have to do exercise.
Pretty much my face when I asked you. I was like,
exactly. You're like, oh.
Let me just eat the cheeseburger at 11 a.m. and be done with it.
Yeah, people wanted like the quick, easy fix. So now I'm just like, you know what? Exercise. A lot of exercise, a lot of hard work. You don't go into it. If people probe, like, no, but seriously, what do you do? Then I go into a bit more like detail about what you do. But it's literally a science. Go down, work out. Just walk uphill. Walking uphill is like the best thing ever.
Yeah.
Burns a ton of calories. Put Netflix on. Sit there. It's like walk uphill for an hour. 600, 700 calories done. Bosh.
So your top tip is just exercise.
Just exercise.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen. That is the end of the podcast. No, I guess the number one question you probably get asked is, what if a place is pretty shit?
Yeah.
Like what's the deal with that?
Yes. So, in the light of making this podcast about authenticity and honesty,
we said we want to be raw. This is the reason why.
And driving the
without getting arrested,
driving the industry forward.
Yeah.
So, if a place is bad, what do I do? Number one, if it's bad, and I mean really bad, as in you cannot be serving this to customers.
Bloody hell, yeah, okay.
You literally, if they've paid you, you give them the money back.
Okay,
and
as in paid you as an influencer
to come. They pay you. You say, thank you very much for the experience. I'm giving the money back. I'm not willing to recommend this to my followers.
Ooh, that must be quite hard.
And you give them honest feedback. There was a guy. It was a dish, and it came out stone cold in the middle. He was like, we baked this dish, oven for so many hours, got it out, freezing cold in the middle. Obviously microwaved it. Sent it back. I said, that's ice cold in the middle. He goes, okay, let me bring another one out. Brings out other. Stone cold in the middle.
Right.
Hot on the outside, plate hot, cold in the middle. He's using a microwave. I said, I'm not happy to do this. I don't want to recommend it to my followers.
Yeah. You're crying while
this is why, just see the money slipping away from my fingers. And I'm just not going to post it. Cut the cameras. Literally, one guy I remember when I first started, he was like, my burger's the best burger. I've been told it's the best burger in Dubai. It's better than pickle and better than high joint.
Right.
And I took a bite.
They're the kings of this city.
Chicken burger. I took a bite out of it and it bit me back. It was like biting into a hockey puck.
Oh.
Like I couldn't even get my teeth to close around the food.
Nice.
I was like, you can't serve this. This is rubber.
I thought you enjoyed my food.
So and in those circumstances, like literally, I'm sorry, give the money back. cut
Fair.
it off, or just say like, I'd love to pay for my meal, I really appreciate, and then you just leave if it's an invite.
And then and you have to say to them like, by the way, guys. But I mean, obviously they've invited you over for
Yeah.
you to do a post.
Yeah.
So do you say, look, here's the money back. I'm not comfortable to do the post.
Yeah.
And we just
You can work.
Only-
You can
only
work on
then.
these things, and if you correct it and you want to invite us and we can try the food again, more than happy to come down here. We don't go back down there normally,
Yeah,
if I'm
yeah.
honest, because
there's so many other
there's
places.
so many other places we need to get
Get
to.
one shot, well, Alex.
That's it. So that's what we happen. If I think that I haven't enjoyed the food, and I know that my followers will absolutely not, that no one's going to enjoy the food.
Yeah.
That's the
Yeah.
first thing. The second thing, if I don't enjoy the food, but I think that some people will enjoy the food.
Yeah. Because
then
yeah, of course, you're not.
that's
I mean, you're not set out to be the food arbiter
Ex-
of the Dubai scene. It's just your opinion at the
Yeah.
end of the day.
Exactly. So it's like food is subjective. People always forget about that. Forget about that. They want you to come and say, this is the best meal. That is the worst meal. This is good. That is
Yeah,
bad. Like black and
Black
white.
and white, yeah.
It is not. I went to a fast food chain, Lebanese fast food chain. Everybody loves it. It's like the golden child. Went there, large
yeah.
mid. And I was like, okay, I know that I don't like some of these dishes, but I know people obviously like them. So I'm
Yeah.
going to do a post for them regardless.
Money, baby.
Gotta get paid. In the video, these dishes I like, these dishes I don't like.
Yeah.
Okay. The problem I now have, and this is giving you a little window into the
Nice.
world of a content
Get
creator.
me in there.
Okay.
I'm at the window.
So I've got an algorithm that literally hates me. I've got I've got an audience that can't listen to a video that's any longer than like 30 seconds.
Yeah.
And I've got to cram a 2-hour dining experience into 30 seconds.
For
So
real.
am I going to go through every single dish out of the 10, 15 they bring me that I don't like?
Yeah,
it's not
yeah,
going to
of
happen.
course.
I'm also, it's people's livelihoods at the end of the day. You don't need some gobshite from the UK with a quiff coming in and saying this food is bad. So
Yeah.
I took a stand when I first started. I was like, I'm going to focus on the best dishes.
Yeah, yeah.
If you go in here, order these dishes, they're great, post it.
And I think that's the point to me. I'm like, even the food influencers I watch from around the world, and obviously they get asked that question, like, why is everything so positive? And I think to myself, and they explain it probably better than what I do. It's just the fact that I'm not interested in knowing about shit food. I don't care. Like, show me the good stuff. Okay, you're going to a restaurant, and if it's shit,
Yeah.
and you post a video about it, for me, I'm like, why? Okay, you're telling me this place is shit. Okay, great. There's thousands of restaurants, especially in Dubai, I'm talking about.
Yes.
Okay, this place is shit. Okay, I won't go to that one restaurant out of 10,000 restaurants. It's
Yeah.
fine. I don't care about when you're trying to find a nice place to eat, whatever kind of price range, you want to know for the best. You want
Yes.
to hear it from people you follow and you kind of trust. But I don't need to know like this place on this street is terrible. Okay, cheers, mate. There's nothing to me. Like I don't care.
See, the flip side is, and I understand this completely, is if you say everything, if you only post positive places and you
Yeah.
only ever say all the dishes are excellent,
Oh yeah, yeah.
you have positivity bias. Everything becomes positive, and you don't know if anyone's being honest. And I think
True,
in a
true.
world of social media, there are a lot of influence out there that will just take the money and run, and they will post everything's good and great.
Name and no.
No, and it's that's how they want to run their pages. Fair play to them. But then you don't obviously get the context, so you don't get the bad reviews. So I fully understand people like you need to post bad reviews because if you don't, we hear everything's excellent, and
True.
therefore you lose your credibility.
But then, well, how do you then combat that then?
Honestly, the thing is, I always get asked like, why don't you post bad reviews? I've said like number one, it's people's livelihoods. Number two, like it's
I do agree with the people's
subjective.
livelihoods, to be fair, because
It-
like you could have just had. I mean, look, everyone has that off day.
Yeah.
So that chef might have had an off day, made it not as to their best ability. You've gone in there, tasted it, and you're like, this is rubbish. And then because of your following, people are like, well, I'm not going to go there. And
Yeah.
then that's to that like to your
Can you
point.
imagine going down to a restaurant and he's got queues outside the door, and he's serving 300-400 covers. He's stressed out to the max, and you come in and you might have one dish that you don't like, and you're going to go on there and slate things. So food's subjective. It's their livelihood.
Yeah.
Completely forgot where I was going with this. The third thing, which this is the whole reason for my wanting to do this podcast, is
Yeah.
because I get handcuffed by the government's laws. Like, you are not allowed to defame a business
Yeah.
over here, okay?
I was going to say that was going to kind of be my next kind of
Yeah.
like what are the legalities
See, that's the
around
thing.
that? 'Cause it's quite grey, I'd suppose.
It's grey. So it's apparently you're not allowed to defame a business but you can say, you basically can share your experience if it's facts.
Right. Okay.
So
okay,
you
that kind
can't
of makes
say, like, I went here, I don't like it because the owner's a dickhead.
sense. What if it's facts?
Yeah, you can. Yeah, you can go there and say I went there and my food was served cold.
Yeah.
I mean, even then, it's a grey area because it's like what's cold is cold. How did you
How do you
prove it? How
prove
do you
it?
prove it? Exactly.
Yeah.
To the point, like people don't understand this. Like when they see the page, when I first started out, I posted about a place, gave it a score, fair score, and he literally came back to me. He was like, "You've defamed my business. I work high up in Dubai police. I'm going to get you deported if you do not give my food a better score than my competitors." And I've just
What?
started out. He's like, "I'm deadly serious. Like, call me on the phone afterwards." He's like, "I'm being serious.
Oh, he was
You
legit.
need to get this done." I'm like, "I've got the authority to get you deported out of the country. We will sue you.
Oh,
We'll also
wow.
sue you if you don't happen." That's
Wow.
happened 3 more times. So
How do you combat
what do you do? Like,
what do you do?
I'm literally, I'm like
10 out of 10, boys.
Yeah, okay. Everything's great again. But that every time I try and be like more like subjective, more objective.
You're going to get me in prison.
I know, yeah. Well, I'm going to have a little countdown, like how many days we can do this podcast until someone deports us or tries to sue us. But that's the case. I know other
Piashik,
people.
I do love you, by the way.
Yeah, I do love you, Piashik. But I know other bloggers that have had exactly the same experience, like literally sued by companies for giving them a bad review.
That's
so,
wild.
So, like, what are we supposed to do? Like,
Yeah.
number one, it's my livelihood.
Yeah.
Like, I've got a very expensive wife to pay for. Not
Yeah.
in that sense.
Yeah.
Kind of. Like, what can we do? And like, if anyone's listening to this and does know, either has experience about it or knows what we can do to do it better,
Reach out.
Reach out, because I'm honestly like concerned. Like, if I go out and do a bad review to the wrong place, I'm going to be in like legal trouble for doing it.
Yeah.
So I've taken.
So I guess that is the point why you just don't really do bad reviews to a point.
Yeah.
Because there are some legal ramifications. I was going to do, because I wanted to bring up some bad reviews from Dubai restaurants, and I was like, funny ones. I was struggling to find any kind of half decent bad reviews to talk about.
Yeah.
I was on TripAdvisor. I don't know, conspiracy theory, but there was only, I know how much you love them. There's only, I think from TripAdvisor you can do like filter it, 5 star, 5 dots, whatever, 5 stars, 4 star, 3 and above. So I'll click on 3 and above, and you can't sort it low to high.
Yeah.
It's just like top rated.
Exactly.
I'm not saying that's a conspiracy theory. Take that as you wish, but I don't know how open people are giving it 1 star and then going in on a restaurant and be like, post, done.
The thing is, you're more likely to get a 1-star review than a 5-star review, because
True, yeah.
people tend to leave reviews when they've had a bad experience. And
Yeah,
when you
that's true.
actually read the reviews, because I read a lot of reviews of places before I go to them, when you read a review, 9 times out of 10, it's about an experience that they had rather than the food. They'll say the food was great, but customer service, etc.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, I don't care about the service. That's why I called it Just Food. Like, I went to Italy and the review said, like, best pasta you'll ever eat, service is shameful. Like, the guy's the most angry waiter. I went there, the guy literally swore at me, best pasta I've ever had. Like, literally.
Yeah.
I guess
I guess it depends on the restaurant you're going to.
Yeah.
Because if you're going to like a nice, fancy place and the waiter's like, sit here, you sit here, dickhead.
Yeah.
Have your food. You'd be like, come on. Have you seen the restaurants in America when they're just like purposely...
Oh my God. I think like that is exactly what Dubai needs.
that they couldn't get away with it.
You know what?
Because there'll be someone who walks in there not knowing the kind of concept of
Exactly.
that. And is like, what the actual fuck?
But there's certain restaurants that come into this food scene that just make us stir for all the right reasons. You know, I'm going to talk about my boy Big T, right?
Yeah,
not because he was swearing at customers. I'll say that. He might have been. I don't know. But not because he's swearing at customers. It's because...
Come on the pod.
People... Yeah, he's going on the pod. Yeah. People in Dubai were not used to queuing for an hour to then get to the front of the queue and be told that their food was sold out.
Yeah.
Didn't know it. Never
Big
experienced
Two's
it before.
barbecue, by the way.
They were going mental at him. They were like, how dare you? I've queued for an hour and the food's sold out. He smokes brisket. He takes like 48 hours like smoking this food.
Yeah.
When it's gone,
he goes in.
It's gone. Like, there's nothing you can do. And
his stories are the highlight of my day, to be fair.
Oh my God,
when he goes
Big
in.
T.
I love him. We share them with each other. He's like, he's off again.
But that's the thing. Like, he's on his Instagram and he's like, you guys are saying my food is this and that. Like, here's what I'm doing. That is proof.
You know what I actually like about him? If it is a bit bad, he's like, bad batch today.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys. not great. I'm not going to take them off. We need to redo the recipe. I need to rethink
Yeah.
this. And I'm like, you know what? I respect that. Because at first, when he first came on the scene and I was just following him, and I thought, why is this guy doing, like, why is he putting so much effort into just feeding the haters? Like, you know, when it's just like your haters and you're feeding it, like you're feeding their egos, and it's just going to make it worse for you. But now that's just kind of his personality, and it's authentic.
Yeah.
It's like almost, because he double downs on it.
Exactly.
I'm like, I rate this guy so much more now because he's just completely, truly honest. He's not just pissed off at people giving him bad reviews. He's like, I don't care, because I don't care what your bad reviews say, but it's not going to hurt me.
Yeah.
I just do this for the passion. I'm like, fair play. Look, all credit to you, respect. And your food is bagging because
It is sick. And like when I went there to film a video for him, he'd made like this entire batch of like smoked cheesecake.
Yeah.
And he was willing to put it all in the bin. He's like, it's not good. He's like, I can't serve this to customers. The base is too
Yeah,
soft.
I saw that story.
And then literally when I was there filming, he was going, and it wasn't even like because I was there, because let's face it, he just does whatever the fuck he wants.
Yeah.
He was going out and he was just giving the cheesecake away. He was like, it's not sellable today. He's like, you guys,
Fair
if
play.
you want free cheesecake, there you go. Like, it's that authenticity. Like, look at the place I love. Fusion Ceviche, Penelope. She is the most lovely Peruvian woman. Lila's Taqueria, sure.
Yeah.
Super
Great
knowledgeable.
place.
Lived in Mexico. Knows
On
everything about
Jumeirah,
Mexican food. Yeah.
Yeah.
Big T. Practice in America smoking briskets with like some of the tops like smoke people in the world, and pitmasters.
Pitmasters, yeah.
And now he's doing a thing. Like, bring that authenticity. That's what we need.
Oh, love it. All right, then. I think we've been yabbering on for so long now, but let's talk about our final segment.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this segment is, I think it'll be a long-standing segment. I think it works best with guests. I think that's kind of when we have guests. I think the idea of this podcast is to bring in people like Big T, who have personality, who can have a good conversation about the food scene in Dubai. Bring them in. But obviously, to break the bit of the ice, we've come up with this kind of magical, mythical restaurant place.
Yes.
Right?
Have we got a name for it yet?
I've called it the Munchies Menu.
I like it.
Right? And it's called the Munchies. Maybe that's not the name of the mythical restaurant, but it's called the Munchies Menu, right? And the idea is, if we imagine this fictitious place,
Okay.
and you go in, and on this menu had your favorite dish of all time.
Okay.
My favorite dish, spill the coffee, of all time. And we ask our chefs, or guests, shall I say, if you had to pick a dish, it could be your grandma's spaghetti bolognese from years ago. It could be a dish you've had on the streets of Hong Kong. It's anything they think. Obviously, it's a lot of emotional attachment to these dishes.
Yeah.
And it'd be wonderful to create this kind of the Munchies menu. It has the best of everyone's just personal opinion.
Yes.
So I think we can kick it off with ours.
Okay, what's yours?
Mine? Well, this is the thing. We spoke about the keema, my grandma's keema.
Not that one.
Yeah.
Minus the coriander.
Yeah, minus the coriander. That was going to be because it's more sentimental.
Yeah.
But also, I have a trash side to me.
Oh, you naughty girl.
Now, I love kebabs. Mr. Kebabs, whatever you want to call me. Kebabs is just me. Anytime I get a chance to eat a kebab, I will. Now,
are we talking about kebab skewers?
this is the thing.
Yeah.
Now, for the audience, kebabs, depending on where you are,
Yeah.
kebabs are a different thing. In the British culture, kebabs are usually consumed between the hours of 3 a.m., 6 a.m., and you're pissed.
Yeah.
Drunk out your mind. It's the last thing you have on a night out. For me, I'm the opposite. I'd have that Monday, 1 p.m. if I could. I just love them so much. And I think the difference of this kebab, this is a doner kebab, so it's on a spit.
Yeah.
For people who don't know British kebabs, it's on a I say British kebab, it's obviously not, but it is. On a spit, the sheets of meat, you don't know where that meat's come from, but it bangs.
Yes.
All into a nice little pita bread, which at the end of it is just soaked in oil. Cabbage, white cabbage, red cabbage, onions, garlic mayonnaise, chili sauce on it, tucking in, side of fries. There's a place, I'm from Leicester in England, right in the middle of England. There's a place near me called Picnic Kebab.
Wasn't expecting that.
Yeah.
Okay.
And if I had to put one menu item on this Munchies menu, which will go down, in history, I'd assume,
Yeah.
I'd expect, I want picnic kebab, the side of fries, extra naan, extra red cabbage, to be on that and immortalised in the most fantastic way. And I think that would be my number one. I actually have. When you go back to the UK, do you have dishes that you have to have?
Yeah.
Like people I'll go home, I need to have a Greggs.
I need to have a roast. I need to have fish and chips. I need to have pie, bangers and mash. And
I don't feel satisfied coming back if I don't have those things.
Sweaty Chinese as well.
Yeah. British Chinese.
Yeah.
Mine is the British kebab.
Okay. God, so much to choose from. We've already spoken about the pizza. I think we can't put these pizzas on the menu because otherwise it would just be all the pizzas.
You've only got one. And we'll make a list of it, maybe at the end of the year next year.
So my family's from Cyprus. I was born in Cyprus, and the town that I was born in, Paralimni.
Say it again.
Paralimni.
Nice.
That's a small town near Ayia Napa, for like 5-10 minutes away. There was this little shop right next to the road.
Yeah.
Plastic chairs and tables.
Nice.
Red checked,
like
red white
it. Love
checked
it already.
cloth. You know the one.
Yeah.
The little clips that hold.
I'm in.
Yeah.
My mind's in. I'm closing my eyes.
So you're there, little old yaya, like little grandma, cooking.
It's cute. You said yaya. I like that.
And she was making köfteler, which are like Greek meatballs. I don't even know if I'm pronounced that right because that's what like my mum and dad call it. I might have got it wrong. Köfteler, which are they're like.
You're even speaking properly.
They're lamb, onion. I think they've got
like
parsley.
a lamb meatball.
Lamb meatball, yeah,
okay,
lamb meatball
nice.
with I think it's parsley and onion in there.
No coriander.
And then you dip it in like a mint sauce.
Oh, almost like a tzatziki, or
similar?
Like
yeah, I think similar to that. It's normally I think it's just like yogurt with a bit of mint in there. It might be tzatziki, but like it's normally just either just Greek yogurt or that. And the key to a good köfteler is you need to get like a really crispy exterior to the point of like an onion bhaji kind of exterior, right?
Whoa, like almost like deep fried kind of.
Yeah, so they're deep fried. So they roll them up in their hand, and then they deep fry them.
Oh, sorry,
so
I thought they were pan fried.
They come like they're like golden brown, like a deep brown.
Okay, right there.
So you've got this crispy like exterior that you have to like kind of crack through when you eat it.
Nice.
And then you want to like, you know, when you get a hot potato, you have to hash it cold.
Yeah.
So you're like, eating that, and it's still like juicy and succulent in the middle, but it's that crispy exterior with the inside. They're just banging. Like, I need to find this place. When I was younger, we'd go there all the time.
Yeah.
Greek köftelers are going on to.
Oh, they put it on the list.
They're going on the
Munch's
list.
menu.
Yeah, Munch's menu is going to be that for me.
Wow, there we have it, guys. I think that's a wrap of the first
Yes.
episode. I think Yasmin's looking at us saying, "Get out."
Yeah,
so
she's wrapping up.
it's time for us to leave. I think we're running out the memory cards as well. So anyway, look, guys, thank you so much for listening to our nonsense, our waffle for this. I don't know how long we've been going for, but hopefully there'll be more to come. It's our first episode. Bear with us. We're just trying these new things. I think we'll start to have I don't know if we're doing it weekly, bi-weekly. What do you reckon?
Weekly.
Weekly.
I like
That's
large
a lot of
weekly.
effort. I want a
Every
job.
time.
I've got a real job.
I want to be
so
like.
it's
I
a
need
bit hard for me.
Joe Rogan. I want to do like 4 episodes a week and just bash out until the end of time.
When you're a food intern, you have the luxuries of doing that. I actually have a real job, which I can't do that. But maybe we'll figure it out. But I think the idea is once a week. If you guys enjoy listening to it, fantastic. We'll still make these terrible things. And follow us on socials.
Yeah, call to actions. Make sure to follow Savage Appetites.
Yeah, savage.appetites.
Savage.appetites on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. We've got all the handles.
All of it.
Also, call to action again. Number 2, if you've got any suggestions what you want to hear on this podcast.
Yes.
Topic discussions, ideas, drop us a message on Instagram. We will read them all. Yasmin's going to read them all for us.
Yasmin's not our producer, by the way.
I know, but she's still going to do that.
Yeah, I know. We love the idea that we have a producer. It's actually me who has to do all this stuff.
So Taz is going to
I will read and I will reply.
And also, if you want to be a guest, on this podcast, there is criteria. This is not, and I repeat, not a corporate podcast. We will not be having people.
You're not allowed to wear a suit.
You're not allowed to wear a suit.
Shirt and trousers.
You have to come in. You have to come in your most comfortable attire. What would you wear on the weekends?
I'm wearing Birks right now.
I'm wearing Birks. I've got my snappy on. Yeah. I'm happy. You got to be casual. This is the energy that we want from you.
Yeah.
If we think you're coming in with an agenda, we ain't publishing your podcast, people.
Nah.
So
down in the drain.
Authentic.
Throw it out.
Food restaurateurs, chefs, foodies. You let us know. Drop us a message. Savage.appetites on Instagram, and we hope to hear you.
Love it.
Thank you very much.
Cheers, mate. Appreciate it.
Very good.
Thank you.
Episode 1. Stay tuned for the next one.
Woo!